This keyboard has always been one of my favorite ones for my iPad. Doqo is a brand which is different. They make a variety of keyboard cases for different iPad sizes, and they are also very unique compared to the whole market. From the Mini to the Pros, that aluminum finish is amazing. This keyboard is vastly unique because it really turns the iPad into, let's say, like a laptop with all the ports available. This is my 1 or 2 year review of this keyboard case, and let's say it's been interesting so far. Hey, welcome back, it's V, let's go. Doqo is a brand most people do not know about, and they make some very good iPad accessories. I want to start with their leather cases. Those are damn good. They have sizes anywhere from the Mini 6 all the way up to the 13-inch Pros. The build quality, the finish, even the price around $40 for any size. These are my favorite travel cases to have. Once opened up, there is a holder for the stylus to keep it safe and protected while traveling. They do have this for all of their cases. On the inside of the bigger ones, there is another slot to hold the Type-C to Type-C cable for, let's say, the Doqo 3, which this was made for. One of my favorite keyboard cases because it gives the iPad the ability to turn it more into a multimedia beast. You could easily say this becomes an army of one. This is their clear stylus, which can be picked up off Amazon for about $40. It acts like a normal Apple Pencil. It charges on top like one too. I still can't get over this design. It just looks that damn good. This will work with any iPad, minus the M4 Pros. It has all the same great features as the Apple Pencil 2, minus the pressure sensitive tip. I will link down below my full review of each item and where to pick them up. Doqo, like most companies, they have their own ecosystem when it comes to gear. This is their inside case. They sell a variety of different sizes, minus the Mini 6. It can be picked up off Amazon for about $40, listed down below. I call these inside cases because it's like a normal case. It will fit in between the iPad and the keyboard case. I've lost a few of the golden pins for the smart connector. It will no longer work with the Apple keyboard cases. Build quality here is very questionable. It does work, but it's not really that great. Plus, I've ran into the issue where the case really does not stay on the iPad. There's really nothing gripping both of them together, and the iPad just sort of slides out. I really tried liking this case. It has a lot of issues going for it, and so this one should be avoided. Getting to the good stuff is the unboxing. Inside is a keyboard cover to protect it from dirt and dust. Occasionally, Doqo has a bundle where they toss in the leather case for free. A Type-C to Type-C cable, which connects the keyboard to the iPad for all the ports. The instructions, the manuals, the usual paper gear. Doqo makes 2 different sizes for this keyboard case. This keyboard case will work with the M1s or M2 Pros. This will also work with the current 13-inch or 11-inch Air. This will not work with the newer M4 iPad Pros or the entry-level one, just because the placement of the magnets are different. Right off the bat, this thing is big, it's bulky, it's heavy. It's made from aluminum and the build quality is fantastic. More so a polished metal finish to it. It comes in about 1,000 grams. It's much heavier than the iPad. It has its own internal battery. It gets about 3 months of usage before it needs to be recharged. There are 4 rubber pads underneath to help prevent it from sliding around on any surface. The backside offers a variety of ports anyone would scream for. The only thing really missing here is a headphone jack. A real media beast with all the ports anyone would ask for. On the right hand side reveals a Type-C port for charging and will connect to the iPad. It will charge with Type-C to C cables. The on and off button is next to the small screen showcasing Bluetooth, battery level, and caps lock. The keyboard does have a shortcut to turn off the trackpad. Here the trackpad is one of the better ones. It's big, it's spacious, I like it. The tablet attaches with magnets for more of a secured fit, and overall the magnets are pretty strong. This can be opened up with one hand. It does have auto wake and sleep. I feel as if Doqo loses a couple points here because the keyboard and trackpad will only work with Bluetooth and not like a real physical cable. They have the perfect setup for everything right here, but they fumbled the goose with this one. Bluetooth is fine by itself. Having a real physical connector is just better overall. Once fully open, the iPad does hang over the media keys, but there's enough room underneath to really get around that. It is sort of annoying, but not really a deal breaker. This has all the same great gestures from the trackpad trackpad you get from Apple. From pinch to zoom, in the gallery, to Photoshop, to LumaFusion, everything is here. Multitasking, switching between apps, and everything else. 2, 3, 4 finger swipe, everything works like normal. Pinch to zoom is one feature I need to have, and not having that is a deal breaker for me. With a trackpad relying on Bluetooth, I do notice there is some occasional hiccups if I move the cursor too fast. Besides that, this is one of the better trackpads I have used. I could easily give this a 4 out of 5. It's good for Bluetooth, but it's still not quite up to the same level as what Apple offers. This is one reason why they should have gone with a physical connector and not just Bluetooth. This keyboard is backlit with 3 levels of brightness with a single color of white. I've reviewed this keyboard about a year or so ago, and it is one of the better ones I have tested out. Even a year or so later, it still holds up well. That's the thing. Unless testing out a product long term, it's really hard to gauge its longevity. Surprisingly, this has held up well. The keys still feel nice and springy, there's good switches underneath, and overall a better typing experience on this keyboard. With it being a chiclet style layout, it's easy to type on, plus I rarely have to hunt for the keys. Doing my usual typing tests, I can get anywhere from 45 to about 60 words per minute. Overall, it's slightly better than average. With the new one, I can easily crack about 70 plus on a bad day. That is the gold standard, and this is more so bronze. Each keyboard case I typically review needs to have something special about it. The main concept of this one is all the ports are on the back side. No need for dongles or adapters because everything is built in. On the side has a Type-C port to connect the keyboard to the iPad with the adapter. It also steals battery from the iPad to keep the keyboard fully charged. The backside has an array of ports anyone could ever ask for. Type-C for accessories or pass-through charging, HDMI for Stage Manager, 2 full-size Type-A ports for accessories, micro and full-size SD card slot for the photographers out there. Sadly, no headphone jack. If it had this, then it would have been the perfect multimedia machine out there. The Type-C port on the backside will offer pass-through charging to the iPad. The port works like normal. I can hook it up to my external SSD, keyboards, or even my Apple Magic Trackpad, and everything works like normal. No issues, no complaints anywhere. The full-size SD card slot works like magic for anyone who lives behind a lens, myself included. Pulling photos and videos from it, doing some light editing on the go without anything extra is a breath of fresh air. It turns the iPad into a real multimedia machine with all the available ports. There are 2 full-size Type-A ports. I don't really have many accessories which uses this port anymore because I try to stick with Type-C. My webcam works just fine, and the other one is charging my AirPods. The best thing about this is the built-in HDMI port. It is limited to 4K 30. It can run a little bit jittery. It can be downscaled to 1080p. It should run a little bit smoother with the extra frames. My first cable I used was bad, hence why everything turned purple. My second one seemed to fix the problem. Being able to just simply plug my tablet into a TV or a monitor and instantly having Stage Manager without having to do anything extra, to me, makes this device simply 90% better than any other keyboard case out on the market. Even after a couple years, this device is still holding up quite strong, even since day one. One reason I talk so highly about this keyboard case is simply because it offers so much more than a regular folio case. Doqo is an irritating company. On one hand, they can make some exciting products. On the other hand, they can make some duds. Maybe it's the other way around, where they're just a one-hit wonder like Coolio. Why I really like this keyboard is because I use this up a lot in school when I need to plug anything in, a monitor, a keyboard, a mouse, a webcam, a camera, a microphone. Everything is right here. It's all built in. Hell, even maybe a printer might work. With a keyboard case about $200, it's not nearly as expensive as what Apple sells theirs for about $300. It's also not the cheapest one either, so it's somewhere in the middle. Essentially, it turns an iPad more so into a laptop. There's some size, there's some bulk, there's some heft behind it, but it also gives you all the available ports anyone would ever need. Since then, I've upgraded to the newer devices. I'm still waiting for Doqo to update their keyboard line. If they ever update it, I would gladly review the new one. So like always, it's V, stay classy.